All right. So Trisha, thank you for joining me today. I'm so happy for us to be able to connect. Been following you for a while since the day we met. It's been amazing to see all the things that you do, but I don't want to take that spotlight away and talk for you. Super honored to have you here with me and sharing the mic. So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. I think that it's beautiful just to be able to connect with you, not just here, but through social media, in person, at events. It's amazing to see how far you have come in so little. So the pleasure is all mine. I'm a mommy of four. I'm a wife, and I am a community builder, Latino leadership advocate, and the founder of Chingona y Poderosa. Chingona y Poderosa is a growth initiative that was born from my Latina owned consulting firm. That's JMB Innovative Business Solutions. And it was just in a time where I like to say that I was in the dark because I was just going through a very rough time, postpartum depression, all the things that we want to call it, right? It was just a tough time during that. But through that, this initiative was born, and the purpose of it, or the mission for it, is to celebrate the brilliance of Latinas. I think that we as Latinas, or even just women, do so much. And sometimes we don't take the time to hug ourselves, pat ourselves on the back, say,
Yeah.
celebrate. Even if it's so small, other people might think that's like something so huge, and to us
Yeah.
it's small. So just being able to take the time to just celebrate the poderosas that we are. And through that, I do events, through collaborations. I'm working on launching a cohort soon just to help these Latina leaders just get to the next level. And, when you talk about, who I am and what I do, I think that bringing these women together like yourself and these spaces where we can be transparent, authentic, and just love on each other, right? It's more than what do you do? How can I help you? It's more like, how can we make money together? How can we, create this impactful
Yeah.
mission? How can we, do something that is going to change the trajectory of generations forever? It's
Yeah.
making these feelings. I think that's who I am. That's what I do. And I'm just that hype girl that's going to hype you up. I'm that girl that's going to be like, si puedes, tú puedes. Not just tell you that, but, through all the love languages,
Yeah.
and the tough love. And I always say, in short, it's like taking all these scattered ideas and turning them into income.
Girl, you are superwoman. My goodness. Like, I always see you moving. I always see you helping others. I always see you lifting others. Out of all the things that you've done in your journey, what was the moment, or was there a defining moment that you're like, oh my God, this changes everything right now? Now I gotta go even harder, or now I gotta rearrange priorities because this is where it's at. This is going to change everything. Did you have a moment like that? Because it feels like you just got this like growing momentum.
Well, I think that it's been in me for a while. It's been
Mm-hmm.
in me since I was a little girl. I just didn't know how to take it out of me, right? And I
Yeah.
tried to do so many things, right? As I grew up, I took on so many responsibilities and people pleasing. I'm trying to be careful with my words, but let's just call it what it is,
No,
right?
yes, yes.
Go
It's
ahead.
real.
And I hid that, I started to cover myself with all those layers, pretending that, other people's dreams is what I wanted. It
Mm-hmm.
made sense. Do something that's gonna create stability for yourself, for your family. I was a very young mom, a very young single mom. So it took a lot of guts to keep going despite of all the things that are, against us. So in a sense, I think that that fire, like I think with many people, it's within us. And I think when it broke loose was I was maybe almost 9 months pregnant with my fourth child. And I call him my surprise baby because he came out of nowhere, the doctor, and they're just like, "Yeah, you're pregnant. Congratulations." And I'm just like, she's like, "Okay, not congratulations." And I kept that between me and my husband. We kept that until then. So it took me, 8 months to be like to realize, holy cow, I'm having a baby again. And everyone had the same reaction, of course, because everybody um, broadcasts when they're pregnant, right? It's a beautiful moment. I think I was in a moment in my career where I thought I was advancing. I was doing all these things, sitting on all these committees, helping so many businesses. I was like, mujer poderosa, nobody can stop me. And then God was all like, sit down, sit down, because it was a very high risk pregnancy. It was so many things that went with it. And I think now, and even in this moment, thank you for that question, I'm realizing that that was my sign to be like, to slow down. Many people, like my coaches and stuff, told me, you need to relax, you're doing so much, when do you have time for yourself? And I think when I was finally able to slow down, go within, and really understand where I was going, that's where I was crying, pregnancy hormones and everything. But like literally, I was crying because I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, what can I do? And then I was like, oh my God, like I could still be what I want to be. Why would this stop me? And I think that's when I realized um, que yo soy poderosa, que yo soy una chingona, that no matter what happens or what's thrown at me, I have the control to grasp that and, like the little Rubik cubits, like twist it around and make it a different color that is going to shine and light the way for not just myself, because I was in a very dark place, but also a light for others who are in the dark, who are in the fog. And that's where I was just like, oh my God, I gotta reignite the fire inside everyone.
That's beautiful. You have so much, but not just passion and fire. You just have something within you as if you were born to do this. Taking it back to what you said that really struck a chord with me as well and my heart is the whole people pleasing, right? Of like living in the shadows of other people's, expectations and dreams that they had or milestones that they never reached and enforced on us and we didn't even realize it. And, I can understand that. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I just know that a lot of Latinas that I speak to, a lot of first gen Latinas, they do have that feeling of one moment in their life, whether they used to be or currently or phasing out of it, but they recognize that people pleasing is real, right? And that we get thrown all these layers of conditioning and thought process and beliefs. When you were a little girl, did you have someone in your world that helped you see how powerful it is to empower other women? Or is it just the journey of life and your own journey that took you to this place today?
Yeah, I think it is the journey, the trial and error, the doing it, being in the experience. I was a CNA for 4 years because my mom was like, you should be a nurse. Women are nurses, they make good money.
Taking care
And
of others. Taking care of
yeah,
others is always a common denominator.
girl, there is. And when we're in the thick of it, we don't realize the lessons. Nobody teaches us to look back 3 years, 10 years, and look for the lessons. We're always looking at the mistakes, what we could have done better. What if we should have done this? We should have done that. But we never take the moment to understand that, it's what what we're doing, it's part of it. And I feel that I got comfortable, in being a CN when I was applying for nursing school, that was the prerequisites. You have to complete the certification. You have to work for, like work through or just for the experience, right? But I realized quickly when I took my phlebotomy class that nursing wasn't for me because I fainted during that. The teacher's like, you're going to stick the needle through the vein and it's going to be popping out. I'm just like, and then boom, ya cayó Patricia. And I think that it's just realizing that what others want for us may not be what's best for us. Sometimes it takes, just going through those tough lessons because I think that I was very rebellious and I was someone who was like, well, you told me not to do it, so I'm gonna do it. I was that person. So, I have kind of a double-sided of that, but it's it's the lessons, right? The experiences, I tried this is not for me. Realizing that what someone expects of me or sees me doing may not be what I want to do. And being able to reflect on that to understand that my happiness has to become first.
Yeah.
People pleasing is just, I think that's something that we subconsciously do to make, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but just to make us feel better about us not doing what we want to do because of the fear that we have.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And sometimes we, like if I would have followed my dreams right when and told my mom, no, no, that's not what I want to do, maybe I would be somewhere else. But I think learning those lessons and going through that is why I'm here today to communicate that with others.
Yeah.
Like you said, this is what, like this is what you were meant to do. And maybe part of me was just hiding from it. Like, no, no quiero. Like, I don't want to be that person. Everything that, like, because I reflected, right? Everything and all the experiences and all the mistakes and everything that happened to me, the hardships and everything, didn't happen to me. They happened for me.
Yes.
It was, the way that life was redirecting me in all these different ways to get to where I am today.
I completely agree. And I also think it goes back to that saying, you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink. Timing for all of us, like all about timing for everything in life. It could be from, you know, friendships, relationships, jobs, businesses. It's always about timing. And that's one thing that is not in our hands. If we controlled everything, there's no room for the miracles that are bigger than what we see. Sometimes I feel like we do have to scare ourselves or postpone things, not because of any other reason, but the timing is not now. We got to go through other challenges to understand when we get to that point when it's ready, what's at hand or
We still
what's
gotta
needed.
become.
Yeah, right. And this phases, and I feel like so many people get caught up that instant gratification, and we talk about it all the time. We hear about it all the time. The cell phone makes in our hands, give us access to anything, anywhere, instantly. There's a lot of things that still don't work that fast.
Girl, thank you so much for that because I just realized people pleasing is that.
Let me break it down. Pull it out of you. What are you thinking? I see you thinking. Share your thoughts.
Because what did you just say right now?
I said a lot. What part?
You said that the instant gratification, we're looking for instant gratification.
Yes.
When we strive to please others, that's our instant gratification of doing something that others recognize us for. And that gives us that dopamine hit or that
Yeah.
well. And then we feel good. And that's why we keep doing it. Because we're
And
chasing
yes.
that feeling.
Yes. And not being able to sit with the time that it takes for us to do the work to get to where we want to be at, our dreams and our vision. Because it's easier to do something for someone else when we don't care for it, when there's not too much on the line for us. It's like easy. Sure, I'll do that for you. Sure, I'll do that for you. And if it doesn't work out, a lot of people will be like, well, I did this for you and now I'm stuck. like, because they're
That
too
bitterness.
scared to put their own accountability on the line.
Take accountability for their own life. So it's easier to please others. So
For
they don't
that,
have to take that ownership.
yeah, and that quick dopamine, like they did something, like they achieved something. They did a good deed.
Right? Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna
goes
go into
deep.
a whole spiral.
It goes so deep. It goes so deep. And it's so crazy because it's like one of those things that really ingrains the way people live the rest of their lives. And you don't even realize it. Entrepreneur is not for the faint. And that's why it's also spiritual, because it really will put you through the ringer. When you were sharing your story of how before your fourth child was born, you were in a groove. You were ready. You were in control of your situation for as much as as you could have been at that moment that you thought you had. And then, the big boss came through and was like, "No, señorita, sentate, mija."
Still need to learn this lesson here.
You still need to cook a little bit, really,
Yeah.
to come out even bigger, better, strong.
Yes, it's making those decisions. I think that a lot of us sometimes tend to think with the mindset that of an employee versus the mindset of the CEO. Because when you make a decision as a CEO, you're making the decision as the mom or dad of this child that was born, which in that case is the business. And as an employee, it's easier to fall in line with routine and do everything like we know how to do. And then we stay in that, right? And then we wonder why our business is not growing. And it's all that the mindset, right?
Yes.
Being able to make the decisions from not so much an employee, but the CEO. I think that it's a huge topic. But at the end of the day, it's what's gonna make or break some businesses. And I see it all the time. And people think that they're right when, you know, if you just tweaked it a little bit and kind of went this way, it would go the other way for you. But sometimes people just have to go through what they have to go through to get
Yeah.
to that realization themselves.
That's so true. One thing that I do really want to touch on before we run out of time is Chingona y Poderosa.
Yes.
I want you to please elaborate of what the mission is behind Chingona y Poderosa. How can people get involved? Where can we find all of this goodness? I know you've got a lot going on.
Yes, where do I start? Okay, so I think that the reason that Chingona y Poderosa exists is because I want to continue to shorten the learning curve for not just entrepreneurs, but the Latinas. I think that it is, and I feel like it's evolving into just women, just based on everyone that's being attracted to the brand. The mission of Chingona y Poderosa is to create more businesses that are Latina to fill in that space where they say that we are only 1%. So I want us all to rise up and break that ceiling open and in 10 years make it 15% of Latina owned businesses that are in that C level. Like that's my mission. And to do that, I'm doing that through different events. And the events are not just events, they are experiences. They are transformational to the point where you walk in there with one perspective, one mindset, and you leave there feeling totally different. The
I
whole
love that.
360 spin on that. I'm working on having through lots of collaborations, right? I am working with Marta Rosso. I'm working with Sarai James, Myra Garceres. I think that's her last name. Viviana, Sonia. There's like so many women. I wanted to, give them the little spotlight too. But just because those that I named are helping me so much, and it takes a group of women to build something this impactful. And that is why we are working on building a mastermind experts, so that when these Latinas come to the table, when they come to the events, when they come wherever, there's experts in the field of business that can help you. Law and compliance, structure, sales, marketing. It's just a whole 360 of the business. This is what I needed when I first jumped into entrepreneurship. I always say entrepreneurship chose me. And I think that I know that I went through so much and it could have been avoided if somebody just told me.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to create, that they come to these tables, they're able to bring their business plan, their ideas, and all these different individuals can give them their perspective on how they can elevate and get to the next level in 6 months, in 12 months, versus the 3-4 years that it's taken me.
Yeah, no. And I'm sure money, lots of money,
Yes.
you
And this
know?
is the part of, going through these lessons, going through trial and error, able to see now that what I could have done better and shorten the learning curve for others to get there. And then through that, we're going to have, mastermind groups. We're launching a boot camp that's
Please.
6 days. 6 different experts. It's going to be amazing. Just follow me on social media to get all the details, because we will be dropping them there. That is going to be hosted inside the Accelerator Business Summits. And they're going to have so many amazing things for businesses, from workshops to plays to keynote speakers. It's part of just adding more value to the community, right? How can we create tools that will take businesses to that next level in a shorter amount of time? And I think through all these experiences, that's where we're going to be able to allow and guide them to get there. And then you talk about spirituality and just, with being an entrepreneur and a business owner, well, we get overwhelmed sometimes. We don't, we're go, 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 go. When do we have time for that? That's where the retreats come in. We have leadership retreats that we're going to go to Peru and Africa, girl.
Oh,
To bring you
God.
back to yourself. We call it the 360 experience, because that's what it is. It's not just about your business, because the business is you.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for your business to grow, you have to be good. You have to be at a level where you're ready to go, you're ready to move intentionally and in
Yes.
alignment with what your purpose is in this life.
Girl, I
Period.
want to go. Sign me up. Sign me up. So I will share all of your website information for yourself, for anybody that wants to reach out to you or be part of Chingona y Poderosa, the Instas, emails, the Facebooks, to make sure
I
that people
appreciate
can
you.
connect with you. I'll make sure that we have that in the show notes. But in our last 2 minutes, I got 3 questions, rapid fire style,
Oh
to
boy.
conclude our convo that I wish we had more time to elaborate. It's too good. It always gets so juicy, and then we gotta wrap it up. But here we go. All right. What's your current power song that gets you in the zone?
I think it's Milagros. I take my coffee black and I use Gano mushroom coffee. I was trying to see
Nice.
if I had like a please help.
I'm trying to find the right mushroom coffee. I've tried several so far, and I'm just like, I can't get with it.
Girl,
Okay.
this is
Okay.
my go-to in the mornings.
Okay. All
It
right.
gives me that mental clarity that I need, especially when I'm running around. So that is my go-to.
I
I
might
take my
need
coffee black.
I might need that too from you. All right. And the last one. One word to describe how you feel about the future for Latina entrepreneurs.
Harmony.
I love that's
We gotta
beautiful.
sway.
Trisha, thank you so much. We will stay connected. Thank you all for joining us. Until the next time.